Hey guys, Joseph here. Today I'd like to talk to you about how you can no longer have to change your environment to be free of an issue. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's just say you have, or someone has a fear of public speaking, and in their job, it requires them to do public speaking. It's not going to feel very great. And after a period of time, they might think, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to do any public speaking anymore, so therefore I'm going to quit my job. Or maybe you have a driving phobia, and rather wanting to let go of the issue, or maybe you do want to let go of it, but you just haven't found the solution yet, and you just think to yourself, I'm just not going to do the whole driving thing. I'm stopping it. I'm not even going to get into a car. And you could really transfer that issue into many things. Maybe you have anxiety over something and it stops you doing certain things. When you think about that, any issue that we have will usually, after a period of time, either make us not want to do that thing in that situation or in that environment, or we'll just give up on ourselves. We go, that's it, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just not going to experience that fear, anxiety, that limiting thought, that negative behavior. We just give up. Now, I don't want you to give up. I want you to be able to conquer this. I believe in you. And personally, I have had my issues. If you know me, you've heard this before. I used to blush all the time. I used to be self-conscious. Doing something like this would scare me, and talking in front of a group would be so beyond outside of my comfort level that I'll go, I'm not going to do that. Now I speak in front of hundreds of people and I enjoy it. And I want you to have not only the enjoyment to do what you want to do, but to experience that emotional freedom to be able to open up new possibilities and opportunities in your life. So you can really take this into any situation. You can take this and utilize this principle of letting go of the issue to give you more freedom than you've ever had before. So, as I said, bring us right back to the beginning. Most people try to change their environment to get them out of a situation. Public speaking fear, they will choose jobs which don't include that, or they'll get out of it somehow. Same thing for like driving phobias or any issue for that matter. If you don't like exams, you're not going to really want to enroll at a university because you know that you're not going to enjoy it, and the chances are you might just not even go there because it just scares you that much. But I don't want you to have that. So here's what I like you to imagine. I want you to imagine that we've got this we've got this pyramid even right here. So you should be able to see that on the video, that we've got this pyramid. Now, if you are listening to this also on my podcast, feel free to go onto YouTube and you'll be able to find it. Usually I actually keep all my videos private just for my newsletters, but because I'm using a whiteboard for this, I'm going to open it up for free for everybody. But you'll be able to get what I'm saying. So ultimately I've got a pyramid right here. Now, if we just break down this pyramid, the first level right here is our environment. That's where most people try to change things. They try to change their environment. Now, that's not going to be good for us because that limits our possibilities in the environments we want to go to. So then people usually think, well, if I can't change my environment, I've got to change my behavior. So people start to work on their behaviors. They try to just push themselves through something. So if you've got a public speaking fear or driving phobia or whatever it may be, you try to change your behavior. But if you know a bit about your body, it's very hard to try to change habits and behaviors because they're not conscious. You can consciously try to do something, but if your unconscious mind is running the issue, we're not going to get anywhere because it runs the issue. So the next level here is our behavior. So I'm going to spell out the UK way. So the behavior. So we've got the behavior here. People try to change that, but that's not going to work. I want you to be able to go up another level. Now, if we can't change our behavior, because when you think about it, if you change your behavior, you change how you react in your environment. So how do we know how we change our behaviors? Well, behaviors are defined by our capabilities. So let's write that one. Right above here, we've got capabilities. Capabilities. Like that. You see, if you can change your capabilities, you change everything. An example of this would be if you're a soccer player, and we see these great soccer players or athletes in the world, and for some reason, they lose their form. They lose how to kick a ball. They seem to leave letting goals, or they keep missing the ball, and they just lose all their what they do, the behavior of football or soccer or whatever it may be. So really, our capabilities define our behavior. Because if you've got a well-known footballer, say like Wayne Rooney, or anyone for that matter, like Messi and so on, if we know that their capability is amazing, they're talented soccer players, but they're not producing it because their capabilities are there. And their capabilities are really defining what's happening. So what's really defining our capabilities, our behavior, and therefore in our environment? Well, the next part is our belief systems. Our beliefs dictate our world. Whatever you perceive to be true is true for you. If you don't think you're worthy or good enough, ultimately, that's how you act and react. It's how you filter out information. Our belief systems really dictate our capabilities, our behaviors, and therefore what we do in our environment. So if the soccer player, for some reason, has a belief, having had a few poor games, that they don't feel good enough anymore, it changes how they do their capabilities, and therefore how they kick a ball or how they work in their environment. Put that into public speaking terms or any issue, you could say, well, if I don't believe I'm a good public speaker, or I have this belief that people are judging me, then my capability to do public speaking or to drive or whatever it is will just not allow us to do it, and therefore our behavior will then not allow us to drive, or actually have a behavior of a phobia, which then has an effect in our environment. So the key thing is though, if we've got beliefs at the top, what's this space right here? Well, to me, that is our identity. Really the identity of who we are. And our identity dictates our belief systems. Our belief systems dictate our capabilities. Our capabilities then dictate our behaviors, and then those behaviors enter our environment. Where most people, as I said earlier, just try to change their environment. They try to just quit the job, or no longer drive, or give up on men, or give up on women. They just let go of it. But I don't want that for you. I want you to really work on right here. So you may be saying to yourself, well, Joseph, yes, that sounds correct. But what is this belief system I have which is stopping me have an effect, or my identity, what the identity and belief conflict I have, which is affecting my capabilities, behavior, and therefore environment? Well, here's how I find the root cause of an issue. All you have to do is maybe write down on a piece of paper all your issues. So you can say, well, I've got this one here, anxiety, low self-esteem, confidence, fear of driving, fear of public speaking. And then as I see them as a whole, I ask myself, what belief do I have about myself which makes all these things true, all the symptoms in my life true? So what belief do I have about myself which causes it to be an issue, which causes to have an effect on my beliefs, capabilities, behavior, and environment? That one question will get to the real root cause, which is connecting to these symptoms right here. So rather just trying to change the environment or our behavior or an emotion or our habit, we want to be able to get that core. So we ask ourselves, what belief do I have about myself which makes all of this exist? Then that's what we work on. Now that belief could be, I am not worthy. It could be something like that. It could be many other things, but whatever the belief is, that's what you want to work on. Now there's a few ways of how we can let this go. First of all, we can loosen that belief system. So By loosen, I mean we come up with examples to disprove the belief system we have. So we could think of examples in the world. We're ultimately reframing it. So if someone has a belief that they're not good enough or not worthy, then we're going to come up with examples in their life or in your life where you do feel worthy. I mean, do you feel worthy to actually put on your clothes in the morning? Of course you do. So it's not being not good enough or worthy in everything. So we're beginning to get it more defined and smaller, more specific in that nature. So really we want to be able to reframe it, coming up with counter examples where that belief can possibly not be true in your world. I'm not saying that's going to let it go, but it will begin to make the problem smaller or at least more specific in nature, which means we can then let it go. So come up with examples which are contrary to your belief system. If you think, say for example, money is a root of all evil, then you look for examples in the world where people who are very rich are doing good for the world, like the Bill Gates and even people like Richard Branson who are coming up with charities to help people because they have money. So therefore the belief that all money is the root of evil cannot be true because we've come up with a counterexample. So I hope that will help just loosen things up. Now the other part is, the belief we have, like for example, I'm not worthy, we've got to really get in touch with ourselves. Any person who has an issue is ultimately out of rapport with themselves. They're in conflict with themselves. I mean, if you could change, you would change. If you cannot, that means your unconscious mind's running the issue. And if it's running the issue, we need to get in touch with the unconscious mind. And that's why now knowing our belief system, you may want to be able to choose maybe one of my hypnosis tracks to be able to do that. But if not, I've got another free opportunity for you. What we have to do is get in touch with that. And we ask ourselves this wonderful question. And we repeat that question. We go, if you can imagine the problem of I'm not worthy is here, we go, well, for what positive intention or purpose do I have this belief of not being good enough? And then the chances are, well, I'm saying the chances are it will be actually positive. So the behavior is bad, but the intention as to why our body runs it is always positive. It's always trying to help us. In fact, I'm pretty much definitely sure that it's going to be a protective mechanism. Let's take the public speaking example. I fear public speaking because I don't feel good enough, or maybe I think that people are going to judge me. So therefore my body wants me out of that situation. So it's trying to protect me. So that first intention or purpose is protection. And then we go, well, for what purpose do you want protection for me? And then we come up with a new answer. And these answers may seem a bit strange at first, but we've always got to ask for what intention or purpose in the positive are you doing that next level up? So it could be, I'm not worthy. For what purpose? Well, so I'm safe in that situation. If I get out of that situation, I'm going to be safe. For what purpose to be safe? Well, that means I feel comfortable on the inside. And then for what purpose to feel comfortable? And then we go up and go up and go up till we get to a point where we're going to get to states of being such as to have peace or to have oneness or to be happy. And then what happens is really quite mysterious and wonderful. It's not that mysterious, but it's absolutely wonderful. It just gets mysterious transformations happening. You see, if we have the I'm not worthy, which is say protection, and then that will keep you, so it means you're out of situations, you're safe, and that will get you comfort, and that will get you freedom and happiness, and we go all the way up, we could go up all about 10 times. The highest one of say wholeness or happiness is in conflict with I'm not worthy. Because they are, aren't they? Being happy is not equal to I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough. They're in conflict there. When you get there, your body starts to retrain itself. So you ask your unconscious mind, I want you to realize that this belief, which is having an effect on my capabilities, my behavior, and my environment, is not protecting me. In fact, it's in direct conflict with keeping me safe, as well as happy or confidence or whatever it was right at the top. When you consistently do that for the next few days or even a week or two, you'll start connecting yourself. Your unconscious mind will understand that it's not protecting you. And therefore it will break free of that behavior. or the capability and the behavior and the environment. That means the belief turns itself inside out into how you want to be, so you're really safe. It will transform your capabilities because now it's actually I am worthy and therefore I can do many things when it comes to my capabilities, which then develops and creates these new exciting behaviors, which you then put into your environment. Therefore, you can public speak, you can go driving. I know it sounds like it makes sense, but it can't be that easy. Well, it can get easier by doing things through habit, by continuing to connect yourself or with yourself, starting to reframe yourself, looking for those counterexamples and looking for these the highest intention for you, the positive purposes behind what you do. That will change eventually. So I'm not going to say it's instant results, although it can happen. I'm saying that you can actually do this over a period of time, which will then start to ingrain the new belief. So we filter down all the way through the pyramid. And if, like I said, if you're listening to this on my audio, go ahead into YouTube and watch this video. This is going to be really great. It's on one of my recent videos by the time you've listened to this on my app. That will give you an idea and a diagram of how that works. So I hope you enjoyed that. For any questions or anything you'd like to do, what I'd like you to do is sign up to my newsletter, which is at josephclough.com. And then on my emails I'm sending out, you get all the videos which are up to date, like weeks and weeks ahead of any other videos that I do, bar this one, because I was still going to keep it open. But on that email, there's actually a Skype number you can call to actually ask me a question. That means on a future video, I will answer your burning question or give you the tips you need to make the changes. So go ahead and do that. Go to josephclough.com, which is CLOUGH.com, and sign up to my newsletter. Not only will we get loads of free hypnosis and self-development, over 100 hours or so, you'll also be able to have the opportunity to receive the next email with a free video and be able to ask me a question. So I really look forward to speaking to you soon and even answering your question in a future video. So have the most wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.